people, it's me, Anja. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. So today is a recent reads video. As you know by the title, May has started off to be a great reading month, which is so nice, and it just makes me so excited to make this video and to also make my future recent reads videos, because now that I've gauged an uploading schedule, as you know, I'm uploading now Thursdays and Saturdays. I've been filming a week in advance, so that's fun and dandy. Anyway, the first book on this longer list than usual is The Stars We Steal, written by Donne. This book came out in like January or maybe February. I hadn't heard a lot of people talking about it, but I was intrigued because I read Brightly Burning by Donne last year. Brightly Burning is a science fiction Jane Eyre retelling, and I found that book through BookTube, but like it was probably mentioned in like a TBR video or something, which means that like it's a book that like whoever's video that was, it was probably Haley in Bookland. Haley was really excited for it, but she hasn't read it, I don't think. Anyway, so like Brightly Burning, The Stars We Steal is a persuasion science fiction retelling. I didn't know that it was a persuasion retelling. I was just excited to read it because I rated Brightly Burning 4 stars, and I ended up rating this book 4 stars as well, and it was really good. It follows 18-year-old Princess Leo, who must find a suitor to save her family from financial ruin. Leo is a smart, practical character. I fell in love with her, and it was just, this book was just so good. If I ever had like a guilty pleasure read, which I mentioned in a book tag, I don't really like to like use that term because I don't think anybody should feel guilty about the stuff that they love. I would say this book because it was just an unexpected, really good story, and I liked it a lot, you know? So it's kind of like a romance-driven story, and it was just really good. I liked it a lot. Leo is such a good, strong, smart, intelligent young woman, and I just like intelligent women. What can I say? I apologize in advance for the wind noise. The next book that I put on this list is Total Boy, written by M. Evan Wolkenstein, I think. Anyway, this is a juvenile contemporary book about a young boy named Will, and he has some sort of facial deformity, so he's self-conscious about how he looks. And when he is told to visit this boy in the hospital who has an incurable disease, and his name is RJ, and Will has to do it for his bar mitzvah community hours. Will does not want to do it, but he has to. So this is a story that explores grief and loss and friendship and self-image, and I really liked it. I love it when juvenile fiction stories talk about self-image, especially like, I don't know, like I'm a person who's felt self-conscious about the way I look. I honestly still do, but that's just something that I went through as a child, so I could really relate to Will's like internal conflicts, and I thought that this book was really good. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars, and this is the story that I would compare to like Things You Can't Say and like Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie, and yeah, it was a nice, solid story. So the next book is called The Year After You, written by Nina DePass. This follows Carla, who months after her best friend dies, she goes to a Swiss boarding school because like to escape from everything, and also she blames herself for her best friend's death. I really like this book. I rated it 4 stars, and it's YA contemporary, and I read a lot of YA contemporaries, and I've read a lot of books as well that deal with grief and loss and like guilt and all that, so I wasn't really expecting to rate this book 4 stars, and I just really liked it. I don't really know how to express or how to explain why I really liked it, because I don't know, like the story stands out to me, and I don't know how to like articulate why or how it stands out to me, because yes, the storyline itself is very similar to many plots and many other stories that I've read before, but like Nina DePass did a great job bringing Kala's struggles and Kala's like feelings to life, and I felt like I could really like understand what was going on in Kala's head. I don't really know how to explain it because I just don't really know how to explain it, but I rated this story 4 stars and it was really quite good, and it's really underrated. Like, I've never heard anybody talk about this book before. So anywho, you should read it. There's a trigger warning, which I should have said at the beginning, for grief and loss and guilt and all that, but it turned out to be a great story. So the next book is called Forged in Fire and Stars, written by Andrea Robertson. This is a YA fantasy book about Ayla, who must accept her fate as the Rollsmith, the Rollsmith is the blacksmith that serves alongside the kings and queens for every generation. And when the lost princess and prince steal Ayla from her life, from her quiet life, her world turns upside down. So anyway, sorry, I can hear sirens in the background right now, and it's like slightly distracting, but like if I keep looking over there, that's where I can hear the sirens coming from, but that is neither here nor there. Forged in Fire and Stars was a good book. I rated it 3.5 stars. It's an action-packed fantasy book, and I don't normally like love action-packed fantasy books. Like, yes, they keep me on my toes, which is great because I don't know like what to expect and like all of that. But because of that, sometimes the author has a tendency to spread themselves too thin, which I don't know if that's what happened with this story and why I just can't rate it any higher, because like 3.5 stars is a good solid rating, but like I don't know, like I couldn't love it enough to rate it any higher. Like, the story was solid, the characters were solid, and I do want to continue the series. I'm pretty sure this is the first in probably a trilogy or something, because it had a cliffhanger ending. I do want to know what happens next, but like I just don't want to rate it any higher than 3.5 stars, and I don't know why I'm again justifying my explanation, and I don't know why I feel like I have to like explain why I gave this a lower rating, because literally I don't. Anyway, Forged in Fire and Stars was a good fantasy book, and I would recommend it to anybody who enjoys action-packed fantasy books. The next book is called A Heart So Fierce and Broken, written by Brigid Kemmerer. So this is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it was one of the most hyped up books of last year. And when I read it in like August or September or whenever, I enjoyed it, but I told myself that I wasn't going to continue the series. But I caved in, I'm in quarantine, my options are limited, I decided to read it. And this book, honestly, I would say that the sequel was better than the first one. And I hate that I'm saying that, because when I read A Curse So Dark and Lonely, my favorite part of that entire story was Harper's disability rep. Harper and I both have disability. We both have a disability. We both have cerebral palsy. So I was really excited that there was disability rep in fantasy, because as I've mentioned thousands of times before, people with disabilities, or disabled people as I prefer to be called, are so underrepresented, and we appeal usually in contemporary stories, so it's rare to see a disabled person in fantasy, which is why that was my favorite part of A Curse So Dark and Lonely, because other than that, the plot was pretty predictable. And anyway, A Heart So Fierce and Broken was better, but I was disappointed that Harper's like perspective and Harper's like story took a back seat in this book, because in this book the focus is on Gray and Leah Mala, who's a new character. I don't think that she made an appearance in A Curse So Dark and Lonely, or maybe she did. Anyway, so I was kind of disappointed that Harper and Ren took a backseat, but I would say that I unfold Gray and Leah's chemistry and their dynamic and their relationship to Hopple and Wen. I think the only reason that I really liked Hopple and Wen is that Hopple's disabled. So will I cave in and read the third one? Honestly, probably. But yeah. So there you have it. Our Hearts of Fierce and Broken is better than the first one. I just was really let down that Harper's disabled rep was really not there. But, like, separated from A Curse So Dark and Lonely, this book was good. It's just that I can't really think of it as a sequel, if that makes any sense. So, there's that. I rated it 3 stars, by the way. The next book is also a sequel, and it is Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales, written by Anna James. This is the second book in the Book Wanderers trilogy. I think it's a trilogy. Anyway, this is juvenile fantasy, and I rated the first book in the series 4 stars, and it was really good. I rated this book also 4 stars, and it was great. It was really, like, fast-paced adventure story. I liked that there was, like, new stuff about the world explained, and there were new characters, and the old characters from the first one were really solid still, and Tilly and Oscar's friendship is just so wonderful and so cute, and I really liked it. I really liked the story. I felt like it was too short, and I know that it's juvenile fantasy, like, I know that, so I expected it to be a little shorter than YA, but I just still felt like it was too short. You know, like, I don't know how long the first one was, but this one, it was 288 pages, which I feel like is still short even for juvenile fiction. Anyway, the point of all that is that I felt like I wanted more by the time I finished it. So I'm really excited for the third one. I don't know where the story is going to go. Like, Anna James could literally take the story anywhere because there's so much more to explore in this world that she created. Like, she could create, like, anything. That, like, this series has so much potential, and it's just so cute and so whimsical, and I just really liked it. And I hope that the third book is just as good and just as solid as the first two. The last book is called One Last Shot, written by John David Anderson. This is juvenile contemporary, and it follows Malcolm, who always feels like he's not good enough. He feels like he's not good enough for his parents, who are always at odds. He feels like he's not good enough for his dad, whose competitive nature and love for sports Malcolm never really, like, reciprocates, until Malcolm finds miniature golf, which is a sport that he finally actually enjoys, and then he's actually, like, really good at. And so that's where the story, like, takes off. And I really liked this story. I've read previous stories by John David Anderson before, so I'm very familiar with his stories and his writing, and I really liked this story, and I really liked its format. Like I liked that he was writing in kind of flashbacks, but not really flashbacks. I don't know how to explain it, but basically this story was so good. I really loved Malcolm as a character. His feeling of not feeling like he's good enough is something that I can relate to, and Malcolm's like 12 or something in the story, and when I was 12, I never really labeled that feeling as feeling like I wasn't good enough until, like, later on in life. So, like, if I had read the story when I was 12 years old, I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as now when I'm 19. So anyway, I really liked the story. I ended up rating it 4 stars. It's really quite solid. I loved it. I loved Malcolm as a character. I just loved, like, the portrayal of him and his parents, he and Lex, like, him and his coach, like, he and even his relationship with miniature golf, and it was just, like, so good. And John, I don't know if in the middle grade audience, if John David Anderson is, like, widely popular or anything, since juvenile fiction is such an underrated genre. on BookTube. Like, I don't really know who the popular authors are and who the underrated authors are. But basically, John David Anderson should be on the more popular side because his books are just so good and so underrated. And so yeah. So yes, I rated this book 4 stars. So in conclusion, the highest rating book that I read in this video were The Stars We Steal and One Last Shot. The lowest rating book I read was A Heart So Fierce and Broken. So if you read any of these books before, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I know I've been reading a lot recently and it's been really great, so I'm really happy for, like I said in the beginning of this video, all of my future recent reads videos. And in quarantine, I have a lot more free time now because school's over and like I have so much free time, and I'm the type of reader who has been reading a lot lately during quarantine. I know lots of people have not been reading a lot lately, but whether you read a lot or whether or not you don't, it's not a failure. It's just that like we're all on different paths and we all deal with quarantine in different ways, and that's equally as valid as somebody like me who's been reading a lot frequently. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'm uploading now on Thursdays and Saturdays twice a week. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, well, thanks for watching.